Welcome back and thanks for joining us. If you're new to our channel, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified of each new video. In the last video, we drove to the Laurentian Mountains for Labor Day weekend. We celebrated our 12th wedding anniversary with a zipline adventure. Dori was happy to get a little help.
You had one job.
Go in for the first bite.
We enjoyed some local treats in Val David and strolled around Saint-Sever and Mont Tremblant villages. In this video, we discuss our plans for the future.
Isn't she a beauty? We love her already.
Hey guys, this is Dori, and I'm Mena. We travel with our lovely dog Fiona to help you discover the most beautiful spots and to share with you what it's like to live as a nomad. So subscribe and welcome to our channel.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So you may be surprised at where we are and what we're doing in here. And that's our big announcement. So we have decided that for several reasons, we're going to transition from RV life into van life.
Hashtag van life.
So we wanted to discuss with you a few of the reasons why we chose this path. And it's really a direct result of the pandemic. And we don't see it as a bad thing. We just see it as a normal transition for this time in our life during this period. And circumstances did force us to go this way, but we see it as a good thing, right? We see it as a fun project, and let's get right into why we did it.
Well, first, like Mena said, this pandemic thing got us thinking a lot. And we didn't know where to go. We didn't know if waiting for everything to be open would have been the right way to do things.
Primarily, we wanted to keep creating. We're creators at heart, and this is going to get our hands dirty. We'll be able to work on a new project and create content at the same time. So not only will we continue with our channel and work on the van at the same time, but this is going to give us a little bit more flexibility. And we want to talk a little bit about why that gives us more flexibility in the situation that we're in.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were in Florida, one of the main reasons why we didn't leave earlier, it was because it was still winter in Quebec. So all the campgrounds were closed, our boat condos were rented out, and we had nowhere to go. And luckily, one of our guests left, went back to France, and my parents were kind enough to lend us the driveway so we could put Casablanca and, you know, do our quarantine in one of our condos. Having a van, it would have gave us a little bit more flexibility. Our main goal of having this van is to have a 4-season ready. And look, we're parked right in the middle of the old port in Montreal with no issues, right? So if we had this already all set up, finding a spot to camp out would not be a problem.
So there was no way that Casablanca could be parked downtown Montreal for obvious reasons. And that posed a bit of a problem because every time it rained, we had to open the awning and we had to make sure that that awning would dry out. Now that's not an issue with the van. We get a parking sticker so we could park on the street all year round. The sticker costs us $250 a year and we're good to go. So we're right down the street from our condo, and anytime we want to come and check on her, we want to drive her around, make sure things aren't getting rusty, it's right down the street. Not only that, but we want something that's going to be really, really well insulated and ideal for a colder climate, so that if we do, in an emergency, have to camp in winter temperatures, we're going to be all set. We're not going to have to worry about where to go. So luckily, in our case, we had 2 condos and one was liberated. But what if they weren't? We would have been stuck staying with his parents or with my mom, and that's just not ideal. This is kind of a natural progression for us. we always wanted to have a four-season camper anyway, and we do love living tiny, and this is just bringing us back to our roots. Although we'll have a little bit more space than what we had in the casita, it's going to be designed really to our specifications. It's going to have exactly what we want. It's not going to have anything that we don't need, and we're going to be putting our own personal little touches on it. Now, we are a little bit nervous about doing some of the stuff on the van, and that stuff that we're nervous about doing, we're going to have it outsourced. Luckily, there's a huge community in Montreal for Ford Transit specifically that build vans, that work on vans, that convert them. So there's a whole Facebook group of, I think, a couple, 3,000 people, and that's a resource for us. So not only have we already met a few people in that community, if we have trouble finding a technician or someone to work on something, well, we can reach out to that group and they can A, provide suggestions, or B, let us know who does that kind of work.
Yeah, the other reason why we also wanted to go with a camper van is it's going to allow us to travel differently. You know, let's say the borders don't open or we decide not to go to US 2021, which there's a chance we know we're not going to go anyway. Let's say the camper van is ready and we're ready to go. Well, it gives us the entire Canada to travel. And a huge resource for us to make this travel affordable when we were going down to the United States was Thousand Trails. Well, it doesn't exist in Canada. And to be spending $30 to $40 a night in a campground is just not doable. It will get very expensive. And, you know, it's like almost the price of a mortgage over a rent somewhere. And having a camper van that's all equipped, we could go pretty much anywhere as long as we're able to have some cell phone reception.
Yeah. You know, the thought of going back to Newfoundland, well, you know, you have to take that ferry across, right? So we probably wouldn't have done it with Casablanca because we would have been so long, but now we know we're 22 feet long and it's more doable. It just gives us a lot more options. And the truck in Casablanca, together we were probably about 37, 38 feet long, where now we're cutting that almost in half.
Yeah, so it opens a lot. So now it's kind of like we have a blank canvas, what we want to do. You know, one of my dreams was always to do the Pan America trip. Well, now it might happen. You know, if we want to go to Europe to ship this bad boy, well, this bad girl, because it's a she,
yeah,
to ship it from Halifax to Europe, I heard it's under 2,000. So again, it just opens up a lot of possibilities. So yeah, we've been looking at vans for quite some time. I was never really interested because I never thought about doing the switch. But with this whole pandemic thing going on, you know, it kind of just forced us into that decision. And it would have been something that we would have done in the next 2-3 years for sure.
and it's always something that we've been kind of curious about anyway. It's going to scratch that itch. We didn't know if we would enjoy doing a conversion, so it's going to scratch that itch. We're going to figure that out real fast. And, you know, we're not really in any hurry, so we can do this, you know, evenings and weekends when we're not working. So that's the beauty of it. Hopefully we'll get it all insulated and get heat put in before the winter so we could just continue working throughout the winter.
Yeah.
And I mean, we could do that here, downtown Montreal, on the street. So, you know, that's a major plus and a major vote in favor of having a van versus having a truck and an RV. And we lucked out. We actually traded the truck in for this van. Everything just lined up perfectly.
It was easy, and these vans are actually hard to find, but we were able to get one, so that really, really worked out. And we're giving ourselves a timeline of 6 months to complete the build, hopefully sooner, but it's hard to tell because plans always change. And one thing that we've noticed so far is because of the pandemic, a lot of people are doing self-builds, so there's a lack of parts and shipping takes long. So we have already a bunch of stuff that we ordered. We're just waiting for them to arrive.
Well, not just that, all those technicians that we would have hired to kind of start things, they're so busy, they're so overwhelmed because nobody's traveling internationally. So everybody, I mean, we drive down the street in Montreal and we see at least one conversion per week that somebody's doing in their alleyway. So there's a huge, huge van life community right here in Montreal, right here in Quebec, which is pretty awesome as well. So it's kind of like we're hitting the pause button on our nomad lifestyle. It's probably going to be almost a year that we're going to be in the Montreal area, which we haven't done in 3.5 years. I mean, we were quite content, you know, leaving for the winters, but now it gives us at least a project to work on so that that time is not idle and we don't have itchy feet. You know, our minds are really going to be preoccupied with this fun project.
The thing about van life is if we're stuck somewhere and we want to get back home fast, it's going to be easier to store. Where if you're trying to store a truck and a trailer, it gets harder, you know?
Yeah, good luck.
And more expensive.
We had also thought about buying a conversion that was already done, but that takes away a lot from us. So it will probably cost about the same, but everything is going to be to our specifications, it's going to be to our taste, based on our needs, based on our requirements, and it's going to have our personal and unique stamp on it. Even though we have kind of derived inspiration from different places for what we want, it really is going to be our own space.
For those who are new to our channel, we're just making a switch to a camper van, and as you see, it's a blank canvas. So we never done any big project like this. I think the biggest thing we've done was built an IKEA bed, right? So this is going to be totally new to us. We don't even own tools yet. If you ever thought about doing a self-built, well, hit that subscribe button because we're going to be documenting everything from cost, price, timeline,
mistakes,
mistakes,
things to do, things not to do. So thanks for staying tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.